Hey, what's up guys? I'm back, and today we'll be talking about the top issues and how they can be fixed in FNAF TD. So I'll be talking about quite a lot of stuff here, and I'll have a bit of gameplay in the back. But other than that, let's get into the video. Okay, so for the first issue in FNAF TD, it's something that only just got recently added, and it's called the Apex Rarity. If you don't know about the Apex Rarity, it's a new unit that's called Astral Bonnie, and basically it's 1 in 100,000. Now my friend LTTQ was talking about this in his video, but that's actually insane, because 1 in 100,000, that is, if you calculate it in coins. So what you want to do is divide 100,000 by 10, then times it by 900, which is the cheaper version, because otherwise you'd be spending 1,000 coins every 10 spins. But if you do 10 for 9, that's 100 coins cheaper, and that saves you 1,000,000 coins. And that's still bad. It's 9 million coins all in total, which, by the way, I think the most you can get from a game is 1,500-ish, maybe less. But also, let's talk about the rarity a little bit. 1 in 100,000. So let me put it in perspective. Let's say you spin this once a day to get the Astral Bonnie, and let's say you got it on the 100,000th time. Alright, so you go out every single day, once a day, and in the US, you'd be more likely to be struck by lightning 9 times by the time you get this if you spin once a day, which is actually like insane. It's actually like so crazy. And the statistics of being a millionaire in the US are 6.7% compared to the 0.001% of you getting the Astral Bonnie. It's absolutely crazy that they can actually do that. But that's all I've got to say for issue number 1. Let me quickly get into a way they can actually fix this. So what they can probably do is just increase the rarity. Like, this is pretty straightforward. Instead of it being like 1 in 100,000, maybe that should be 1 in the 10,000, or maybe 1 in the I don't know, 1,000. Maybe that would be a bit too broken if it was 1 in 1,000. Maybe it should be a pity, so you only get it on your 1,000th like achievement. You only get it on your 1,000th spin, or 1 in 5,000. I reckon that would be like way better, because 1 in 5,000 spins is equivalent to 450,000 coins, which is, in my opinion, way better than 9 million. It's still a lot, and a lot of coins. Like, even that, it being 1 in 5,000, it's a lot of coins. But if they do want to make it a bit more balanced, 450k coins, that's a bit better. Not like drastically better, it's still really rare and still somewhat balanced, but if they do want to keep it like such a rare unit, then they can just do that. Okay, for my second point, I want to talk about enchanting, because it's okay for DPS towers, like general damage towers, but stuff like Amalgam that don't deal damage, or any of the support units like Fastcade, which is already obsolete as it is, like no one uses it, or if we talk about Spring Bonnie or Endo, or just anything, Crying Child, if you have damage on them, honestly, it's just a waste of souls. Like, you're just wasting souls at that point. It does nothing, absolutely nothing, and the only thing that you could really spin for is Puppet's Nightmare. That's probably the best thing, because Vengeance is going to be useless on it, really. Or if you just get anything else like Shadow, it's just useless. The only thing you want is Range and Puppet's Nightmare. So another way they could fix this is quite simple, to be honest. Again, all you have to do is add enchants specifically just for support units. Like, let's say the Fastcade, if you want to make it actually useful, get an enchant. I don't know what the rarity would look like. Maybe 1% or something. Don't know on top of my head, but I just made this up. But it's called the Investor Enchantment. Like, it increases the amount of money you get, and when you sell it you get the full price back, or I don't know. They could really do a lot with this. It's really easy. Another thing might be more range, or have multiple boosts like damage and range, or they could do a cooldown boost, like it could be a tiny amount, like not an entire second but maybe half a second better. Honestly, they could do a lot and a lot. So I really hope they do take that into consideration. But other than that, let's get on to point 3. Okay, for my third point, I want to quickly talk about how rare the units are, because they're all like exclusive. Obviously the good ones are going to be like in the Battle Pass, or like previous events such as the military event that was before the Western one, or just like any of the past events, which means you can only get them through trading really, which is kind of a shame, because most of the good ones, like good units, I know they can't really do the most about that, but all the good units are really like the past ones. The new Western event has got the Freddy, the Outlaw Freddy, but the last event had the Valkyrie Chica, which was arguably better, and the only way you can get it now is through trading, and that goes for most of the units. Like, even if they're not exclusive but they're just rare, the best way to get it is really through trading and not like actually grinding for it, which I don't know why, but that just like, it feels weird. Not like weird, but just like, I don't feel like the game should be like that. I don't think that was the intention that they were going for. I don't really know the best way to really like help with that, other than just to make the rarity of like units, let's say Bounded Shadow, like a bit more easier to come by, because currently I have Limitless Shadow, but while I was trying to get Bounded Shadow before I actually traded for him, I was trying to spin for him, and I must have went for 100k coins, close to 200, and I still couldn't really get it. It's insane how much the grind is. One thing I do really, really want to talk about is past round 28 in Endless, you're kind of just AFK. Like, you just have nothing to do other than run about, and maybe if you're on a Discord call, you can like watch something with your friends or do a Discord activity, which is what me and my friend were doing. As you can see in the video, we do go AFK eventually, and it's really not the game's intent. I know that for a fact when I'm talking about this, because it's just not an idle game. It's a tower defense, not Five Nights at Freddy's idle defense or whatever, and it's just boring. It's what really kills the game. It just feels like you're playing it just to grind rather than to enjoy the actual game. One easy way they can solve this is by allowing you to place more than 10 towers in a 10-player game. So if you didn't know, if you're playing with 4 other players in Endless, the max you can place is 10 units. I reckon you should just be able to place your full loadout. That way it kind of gives you a bit more like time to spend placing stuff down and upgrading. And also another thing they should do, in my opinion, which my friend LT Tinku did talk about in his video, is have a separate bar just for the support units, which allows you to place even more units down. And if not that, then they should allow you just to place your entire inventory down, just because it will just increase the amount of time played like in Endless. Also, they should just get rid of the fact that you get kicked out for being AFK. It is like really annoying because you have nothing to do. So let's say you're just like revising, or you're just playing with your friends, and you just see this thing that says you've been idle for 20 minutes and you get kicked out, even though you're inside a game. It's just a bit silly. Another thing they could do is just like the boss fights, they should be more interactive. Now, I don't really have a massive picture of how they can do that, but I'm sure they could somehow make it interactive, whether it is through abilities like in BTD6. My hopefully last thing that I want to talk about is how slow new levels are being added. Now, I do get that they have weekly updates, but the problem is that the Western lobby got added, and the first day that it was there, it had one game. That's right, we thought that they're going to slowly add more games, and they did. They added a second game a few days after, and then a few days after that, they only added a single more level to game 2. So there's only 2 games, which both have 5 days, and each have, I think, 5 difficulties from easy to nightmare. So that means you can just quickly complete it, which is just like boring once you've completed it all. Like, I've done it all from easy to nightmare, and there is nothing left to do. Like, I've completed all the normal games, I've done all the endlessness, I've just done everything in the game. Now, I think what they should do is, with the weekly update, add a new level every single week, whether it is to the Western lobby, which might be easier, or where it is to the permanent game, or even endless, like have a game 5. I don't quite know, but I reckon they could do it quite easily, especially if it is in the Western lobby. But yeah, guys, I think I'll wrap up the video here. This has just been my little rant on how they could improve the game and what the issues in the game actually are. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and comment down below if you guys think there should be any other improvements or if there's any other issues. And I'll see you guys in the next video.